Former Council of Economic Advisors Chairman Kevin Hassett. Kevin, good to see you. Thanks for joining us on The Bottom Line. What do you make of what Joe Biden's doing? He's doing an Invest in America tour, but he's doing all the wrong things to make the economy grow. He's spending more money, borrowing more money, more rules, more regulation, as opposed to saying, hey, let's cut taxes, let's cut regulation, let's explore American energy. He's doing everything wrong, then traveling the country to celebrate it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Although, if you look at the data, there are a lot of people investing in America. They're just doing it through Hunter Biden, right? Everybody else is sending their money elsewhere. And it's because of these bad policies. They canceled the event, and we don't know why. But I can say when I looked at the event description, I was aghast at how many things they said that were just utter economic lies. So, for example, they said that we're shepherding a manufacturing boom. Well, actually, if you look at manufacturing data, it's down 1% relative to last year. Like, that's a boom. And if you look at the regional Fed indices, they're down 20% in manufacturing right now, where zero is level. And so the point is that manufacturing is collapsing in the U.S., and Joe Biden's saying that he's investing in America, and he's just not doing it because of the policies that you mentioned.
Well, Janet Yellen a couple of weeks ago, Kevin, said for the past 2 years, the U.S. has experienced an historic economic recovery. And in January of 2021, our country was in the middle of an economic calamity triggered by the pandemic. And they're calling this tour Invest in America. Well, invest is liberal parlance for spending. So they just go out and blithely lie, just like the boss man, Joe Biden. And the calamity is what's on the horizon from this interest rate shock.
Yeah, I mean, where's Pinocchio when you need him, right? I mean, Pinocchio's disappeared. Like, we saw him every day when you're in the Trump administration, even though we fact-check everything. But the bottom line is that GDP was growing at 6.5% when Joe Biden took office, and inflation was in the ones. And inflation took off because of their massive spending. They've increased spending relative to what we thought right before COVID by $10 trillion. And they're set a couple of years out in the Biden budget to spend more than we spent peak COVID. And so they're spending all this money. They're driving inflation up. They're throwing the economy into recession again this year. It's clear that one is just about starting right now if you look at the manufacturing data, and they don't have any answers. But it is really, really stunning to me that they are able to lie so much, because like whenever we put something out in the Trump White House, it went through such a fact check process that if we had a number that was wrong, you guys, you remember I came out and apologized if I got a number wrong, and they're just putting lies out every day, and it's crazy. It's crazy that the media allows that. Like, they all need to be sent to remedial journalism school or something.
Yeah, that's not happening. They're all Democrats themselves in most of the media, which is too bad. They don't fact check them. But I want to move on because House Republicans are working on a debt ceiling term sheet for Democrats before they move to raise America's debt limit. So, Kevin, the president's unwilling to talk to Kevin McCarthy to negotiate a debt limit increase. Kevin McCarthy says, I need some, whether we're going to cut spending, we're going to secure the border, I need something to raise the debt limit. And Joe Biden says, I'm not going to give you anything. We have a calamity on the horizon if Joe Biden doesn't get on the ball and sit down and negotiate. What's your take on what's happening with the debt limit?
Right. Well, I can tell you that I've spoken with Speaker McCarthy myself about this, and that he's very level-headed, and that he understands that in the past, when you had the House controlled by Republicans and a Democrat in the White House, that they worked out a deal where there was a little bit give and take. In fact, during the Obama administration, they raised the debt limit $1 for every dollar cut in spending, and Joe Biden probably doesn't remember that far back, but those things were called the Biden negotiations. And so Kevin McCarthy's just basically saying, look, the last time we were here, give me a deal like that. And Biden's saying that ask is demented. He actually used the word demented. I would stay away from that word if I were him, but that's what he did.
I was there for that, Kevin. It was true. Joe Biden came over and negotiated those deals, and actually was so successful that Barack Obama had to pull him back a little bit. I wish that Joe Biden would come and negotiate with Kevin McCarthy. The economy needs it.
But what's happening is that poll that we looked at, not so good and poor, it's 80% of people polled think the economy is not so good or poor, and Joe Biden and company are trying to lay that on the Republicans by not negotiating.
But you devastate the economy in the process. Kevin Hassett, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you joining us on The Bottom Line.